Right. Hello, Lindsay. And
Hello.
thank you so much for coming on the call. You're the first guest actually of this season one, so it's honestly really appreciate you coming on. It's great. It's great to have you on.
Um,
So I just want to dive into a few questions with you about well, your business and business in general, and just that sort of thing, really. So when I was sort of Googling you and what have you, um, I was quite not surprised, the wrong word, but I seen that the business came out of like sort of opportunity, not the best opportunity, but you grew it out of something, you saw something in the market.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
and
yeah.
then to be fair, I think I've written down there inspiring because, but I don't even know if I don't even know if that's a good enough word because
No,
like,
wait until you've spoken to me for half an hour, and then decide what you want to
yeah,
call
oh
me.
no, honestly, I was like, because I was just like, it's amazing how things in life present themselves, isn't it?
Yeah,
When you don't,
yeah,
unless it'll present itself in a reason you would never have seen unless it
yeah,
happened.
yeah,
I imagine it was quite sort of traumatic at the time, but look at you now. Do you know what I mean? It
yeah,
looks like it's.
yeah.
But yeah, and I seen you on Dragon's Den as well.
Oh
How
God.
was that good? I haven't actually seen the episode. I'm going to YouTube it after this.
It was terrifying. It was
Oh,
absolutely,
yeah,
and I've done some scary things in my time, and I've
yeah,
done some silly things, but it was proper scary. It was. I mean, they're lovely, lovely
they
people,
are.
but
Yeah,
they sort of click from nice people into their like dragon, and then they're looking at you, and you've got the Deborah Meaden eyes just like 3 meters away from you, and they burn. But no,
yeah.
it was good. I wouldn't, I'd do it again. I didn't
Right,
get
right.
I didn't get investment. I'm
Oh,
not
okay.
blowing it for anybody, but
No, no.
yeah, but do you know, when I
Good.
came away, I was relieved that I didn't, in a way,
Yeah.
because it was at a time when I didn't massively need investment, and I knew that had I come away with a dragon, it was a bit like a pressure cooker. This pressure of having to learn and learn, and there was constant calls with the producers and stuff, and I knew that if I'd come away with a dragon, it would have just got even more pressure.
Yeah.
So it
Yeah.
was like a relief
Maybe a
almost.
blessing in disguise.
Yeah, but I'd do it again. I mean, it was great. I
I
never,
love the show. I love it. I love watching
yeah,
it. Yeah.
yeah. Who's your favorite dragon?
So I don't know if I've got an because I like Deborah Meaden. I think she's
Mm,
very straight talking.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
I like Peter, and I know what's his Tucker. I just find him amusing. He's like, I
yeah,
think it's almost like he gets offended by things sometimes. He's like, well, because he's this big business and he is obviously very, very successful.
yeah,
And but I think he sort of gets a bit offended by something. And I think, oh, but I don't know. I think because Deborah and Peter have been on from day one, haven't they?
yeah,
Like you
yeah,
get used to them being on. But I think it's quite a good mix.
yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
must admit, I liked, having met them now, I really liked Peter Jones.
yeah, yeah.
Really liked him. Such a nice guy. Really
Say
sincere.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
really sincere. But I do like Stephen Bartlett, not because of him on Dragon's Den, but I do love his podcast.
yeah, yeah.
And I think he's grown into this amazing man who is just in touch with so many. He's just so curious, and the questions he asks, and I just love him.
Yeah. I'll have to. That's not see because I've never seen any of his podcast. There's a girl who I work with, and she's like, "Oh, have you seen?" I'm like, "No," like, but he obviously because of that, and I see that.
Yeah, yeah,
I think I am going to sort of. I'm going to look and watch a few more actually, and
yeah,
especially in this, it just gives
yeah,
you sort of an idea.
yeah.
But yeah. So right, can you tell us a little bit about you?
Me. Well,
You.
there's me now and there's me before, because they're kind of two different people,
Yeah.
really,
Okay.
seriously. So before, Lindsay before was mum, two amazing kids,
Yeah.
had trained to be a hairdresser. That was
Right.
what I wanted to do later in life, because I was wanting to open my own shop when the
Right.
kids had got
Okay.
a little bit bigger. So I,
Yeah.
I did have aspirations towards business. But then I got arthritis since I was a teenager, was having this knee replacement and contracted a catastrophic
Yeah.
MRSA infection. There's no other word
Yeah.
to call
Yeah.
it.
Of course. Absolutely.
Which I was really poorly, horrible time in my life. Obviously they saved me, and they actually saved my leg as well.
Yeah.
I'd lived with that leg for 3 years, but it was
Right.
it was just so damaged. It was not a team player. I couldn't walk on it. It was mega painful.
Yeah.
Couldn't bend it.
Oh, okay.
So I opted to have a an amputation, above the knee
Right.
amputation, because I knew that that was my key to getting back to progressing. And I'm all about progress. I hate stagnating and I hate going
Yeah.
backwards.
Yeah.
So I opted to have this amputation, best decision I ever made in the world. And it released me, and it fed me all these great opportunities.
Yeah.
Paralympic circus training,
Right.
and
Right. Wow.
I was in a movie. I played a
Seen
one-legged
that.
stripper in a movie, and do you know it? All these
I wrote
things.
that down. I seen it on your with the acting
Yeah,
theatre,
the
and I was like,
Yeah, it was the
yeah,
Jack Whitehall
yeah,
Bad Education movie, and I played Peggy Sue, the one-legged stripper. I trained in circus and performed in the opening and closing ceremonies. I went to Brazil teaching circus. So suddenly, this person that before who had limited sort of aspirations suddenly was opened up to this global thing that was happening. But what I needed when I was walking, because I walked with a prosthetic, I'm pointing at it here, but I
yeah,
haven't got it on.
yeah.
Um, Sometimes I needed a walking stick.
Right.
I looked I was only 43 when I lost my leg, and they were horrible. They were grim,
Yeah,
ugly, old-fashioned. I mean, I was thoroughly ashamed, and that's a theme that you'd find talking to a lot of disabled people. They
yeah.
feel ashamed of using what they're
Right.
using.
Okay.
And I decided that I would make my own. So at the time, I wanted an invisible walking stick, because I actually wanted to be invisible, because I was going through so many body image changes. It was traumatic stuff.
Yeah.
And I wanted this invisible walking stick. So I researched materials, got myself some clear acrylic rods, made myself a walking stick in the kitchen, molded the handle round a wine bottle,
Yeah.
and off I went. And I was walking around and people were looking, and then they started asking me about my stick, not, oh, what happened to you, or oh, what's
Yeah.
wrong,
Yeah.
kind of thing, because people do.
Oh, yeah. Of course.
And then I made a couple of coloured ones, and I was getting a bit braver. And it was the same. People just kept asking me about my walking stick. And I thought, do you know what? Because it gave me a real buzz. And I thought I could give this to other people,
Yeah.
this feeling that it's giving me. And that was my sort of light bulb moment of thinking I could do this. I could make
Yeah.
a business out of this. And they say, I read this the other day, in business, you find that people are either mercenaries or missionaries.
Yeah.
So a
Yeah.
mercenary is someone who just sees an opportunity, will buy a business off the shelf, or will just buy stuff to sell on Amazon. You know, that's
Yeah.
the mercenary side of it. But then you come to people like me who make it their mission, it's their passion.
Yeah.
And that's what it's become. And I've been doing this for 13 years now. So, and it's still
So,
as much of a passion today as it was that
I-
first day.
I've looked at you. Well, I looked at your website when I first got in touch with you. And I was like, NEOWALK. And I Googled it and I had a look. And I was like, because I'll be honest, I've never seen anything like it before. Because
No, but you
walking
wouldn't
stick,
unless you've
yeah,
been looking for one. Yeah.
no, that's it. And it's like my mum, her mobility's not great. She's 77 now. She's had two knees that they need doing again probably now.
Yeah.
Her hips but she's had carpal tunnel in her hands. So because when I was looking at them, I thought, there's me mum, and I thought, she won't, she can't, because we've got like a walker for her in the house, just to the
Yeah.
kitchen, so just for her balance. But she can't actually put any pressure on her hands because there's
Right.
on her hands here. There's
Because
the
it's
padding. It's just gone, and
painful. Yeah.
it's so painful. She prefers just to settee, and walk like
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
And I was
Yeah.
looking at your sticks and I was thinking, like, I've actually never, I've been to a few, like, even in York, well, Whitby, stuff like that. And you go in these little, the goth shops and stuff like that, and you
Yeah.
see walking sticks, and they've all got fancy handles.
Yeah.
The metal, it could be an eagle or and I've seen,
Yeah.
but the actual stick is either black or it's brown, or you
Hmm.
get obviously the hospital crutches, if you like, that are
Yeah.
called.
Yeah.
And when I seen yours, I was
Yeah.
like, yeah,
You see, we cater for all different sort of grips and any kind of problems that you can have with your hands. So
right,
on ours, we actually have a rubber grip that we can put on the handle if you want, and it
right,
has a gel pad underneath it that just softens
okay,
Um,
That's a
and
good idea.
and different shapes of handles, we find that they suit different chronic illnesses. So
Yeah.
we've got all these different shapes that usually people manage to find one that
Yeah.
that is comfy, but it is a problem.
I
Yeah,
imagine it would just be one size fits all originally, isn't it? It's just it's a
used
walk
to be.
stick.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
it's a stick.
absolutely.
It
Yeah.
was one. Oh, this your granddad used to have this. There, use that. It's that kind of thing. Or you go into a chemist and you don't know how long it should be. Are you using it? Because if you have a walking stick, if it's too long, your shoulder goes up, and if it's too short, your shoulder dips
Down.
down. You see, and it's bad for you.
Yeah,
So if
yeah. I know that.
if you've got no one to give you advice on how to be measuring what the length you need, which is
Yeah,
something that we focus on as well. So we give people lots of information, lots of advice on how they could, because I've been using them for a lot of years. So, I'm not a doctor, I don't pretend to be,
no,
but
no.
I can give you advice that I've gained in my lifetime, and my team of people can. But yeah, we've created this amazing community around NeoWalk. I think we've coming up to 40,000 followers on
Wow.
Instagram now, and it's this lovely community that supports each other. They talk to each other. We've got a community on Facebook where
Yeah,
people go and they flash their sticks. Look, I got this, and oh, look, I've got two of them, and it's like, they just chit chat to each other, and it's
yeah,
lovely. So being disabled can be quite lonely if
yeah.
you if you're
I
not
get it.
able to get out, or if you're not able to work, or if your family live far away.
Yeah.
Lots of reasons.
I
And
was
it's
just, it was on the news yesterday. Sorry to interrupt you. It was in the news yesterday. There was a guy, and he was saying he lost his sight at, I think he was in his 20. Like a dizzy. I don't think it was cancer, but it was something else, and it was at the back, and he lost sight in both eyes. And he
mm,
says, employer, it's getting more and more difficult, which you would think would be the other way to find a
mm,
job if you have a disability.
yeah,
And
totally.
I understand some jobs it would almost be impossible,
Yeah.
but then there is jobs where it is, I suppose, easier to get that sort of into that position. But then it's a
Yeah.
case of someone's prepared to give you that chance, if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
no, I mean, a lot of employers aren't, because when you have a disability, you are viewed as it's a weakness.
Yeah,
It's a vulnerability. Are you going to be reliable? Are you going to have days off? I mean, everybody has days off for being sick. I mean, for goodness sake.
yeah,
But it is really difficult to find work, which is why you'll find more people with disabilities setting up their own businesses.
right, yeah, no,
A
that's
lot
amazing.
more.
Yeah,
Yeah. Then you're in control. You work
absolutely. You
what
do.
suits you. Yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah. Well, that makes a lot of sense, I guess. I mean, it's good in one way if you get to, it's your own business and you call the shots. Uh,
Yeah, but
yeah,
still
but it is
hard,
a shame.
hard
It is a
to,
shame
yeah.
for that from that side of it. Um, but no, I think honestly, I think your story is like actually incredible. It's like you come across all sorts of people in your lifetime, and it's and you get like pleasantly surprised.
Yeah,
And like I say, when I was just reading up there, I was like, it's actually amazing what you've done with, like, out of what that you say was
yeah,
so
yeah.
traumatic, and it's
But
really good.
but
So
again, I haven't, what's the other option is
yeah,
you roll over and give into it and just give up on life. But that doesn't, it's not something I've got in my vocabulary. I just
no.
can't do it.
I think that some people do. I think my mum gets a bit like that sometimes. I think it's because of her age and
Yeah,
mobility. And like we were at Whitby a few weeks ago. I was literally just getting out of the house. We drove to Whitby. We got some fish and chips. I had the dogs. Give them a little. It was miserable outside. Give them a little walk. She didn't even leave the car.
yeah.
Um, Pat Sandy with fish and chips in the car, then drove back to South Shields. And the good thing is, it's a nice drive. It's only an
Mm,
hour and a bit down the road, if that. And it got her out, but she's not driving it. Well, I don't think she's going to drive again. She's going to give her car up, I think.
mm.
Um,
And then she gets to spend an hour in a car with her son.
yeah, well,
It's
yeah, of
it's that connection. It's
course it
that
is. Yeah,
we lose that connection when you're stuck at home. And
yeah,
that hour just chit-chatting in the car
yeah.
could have meant the absolute world to
But
her.
she messaged us the next day. She said thank you when she got out of the car and stuff, and I came over and I getting sorted. And she messaged the next day, she was like, just want to thank you for yesterday. And I was like, well, yeah, I know she
You
didn't have to, but she appreciated
yeah,
being
you
appreciated.
you feel like you didn't do much, but to her
Oh, yeah, and it was
probably
everything.
meant the
Yeah,
world. Yeah.
absolutely.
Mm.
So, but right. So, what is your role in the company? Do you still play like Are you still really involved? Or do you oversee more? Or yeah.
I'm there daily. I'm there. Yeah, I mean, I'm fortunate to have a workshop and office in actually at the back of my house,
Oh,
so I can be present when I'm because live with chronic illness as well. So each day I live in
yeah.
pain and you know I won't bore you with it, but so I can be present when I can. But if I'm not able to be, I'm just in the house, and the guys know where I am if they really need me. So I'm really lucky in that respect. I can literally turn up in my pajamas if I wanted to, and they would just say hi. You know, the parrot's here as well, and we just crack on. But yeah, I'm involved daily, just with very much with the overseeing as well. But you know, I'll pick the phone up if it rings.
So
And
what does your typical day look like when you're in?
okay, so when I'm in, I try not to start till 10 because quite often I'm podcasting until later on. So I can be sitting at 10:30 at night still doing podcasts. So
Right, okay.
my days are quite
Busy.
unusual hours. So I
Okay.
try not to start till 10. So I get up at 5 to 10.
Sound like me.
And, and then I roll in with the usually with the parrot and a cup of coffee, laptop, and I'll check my emails. I've got my own sort of emails coming in, and we've
Yeah,
got
yeah.
the office emails. We've got daily stuff. You know, we have meetings about what we want to move into ordering this year, the kind of colours that we're going to go into. So we're looking at trends. We're looking at
Yeah.
um,
Curious
we're,
about that.
yeah, so you know we meet and there's not many of us. There's only 10 of us, and we're not in the office all the time. So quite on a daily basis, there's usually 3 or 4 people in there.
Yeah. Nice.
But yeah, I'm just there. I just like to be part of the team because
Yeah,
it's not that long ago. It was just me doing it, you know, and
of course.
I've had to welcome different members of staff in at different points when the business has kind of taken off a bit more and a bit more. But I'm still just a colleague as well, so
Yeah.
I kind of have 2 hats.
Yeah.
So you know, it's lovely, and I've got the loveliest team. You know, none of them have chronic illness, but they're all so invested in what we
Yeah.
do because
Of course.
they know that
It means to you.
each box that we send out with a walking stick in, it could be changing someone's life on the end of it.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
they're so conscious of that and they appreciate the emails that we get coming in saying, you know, I haven't left the house for 3 years because I'm so ashamed of using a mobility aid, but your walking stick, I went out and people spoke to me. And it's like,
It's
God,
amazing that. That's
well, you know,
absolutely.
but why is it like that? But it just is. There's just this stigma, which we're trying to break. We're doing
Yeah.
our best, and you know, hopefully, it's not just us fighting it. There's lots of other businesses as well, and lots of people advocating for, you know, disability inclusion. But
Of course.
yeah, I mean, eventually, it will get better. But
Yeah.
it's a tough journey to be on.
It
It's a
takes too
tough
long
ride.
sometimes, doesn't it? Feels
Tough
like it
ride.
takes it. Yeah, it is. So I noticed you're in 25 countries now. Is that correct?
30 probably now.
Is
It's
it
more.
right?
Yeah, it's
Right.
more.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, we go eat every corner of the globe.
And
We
is
go.
anybody else doing it?
Mm, we've got someone in the US copying us.
Oh, really? Right.
Yeah. So that's now in litigation. So
Ah, right.
it's a problem. They've literally ripped off colors,
Oh,
shapes, handle shapes, even the ver that like I designed the light up version. We have walking sticks that light up that have glitter in and all sorts.
oh,
And they've even copied that right down to the yeah. So that's in litigation. So,
that's a
but
shame.
other than that, no, there isn't. No.
Yeah, I was Googling. I didn't. I had it. I was just having it because I thought, like you say, it is unique.
Yeah.
I think it's very
Yeah.
unique. And I was having a Google and I literally couldn't find sort of any other company that seemed to be doing it. But
No.
I suppose you should say take sort of a compliment in that as well. That somebody wants to
Yeah,
annoyingly, but
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. It is annoying because it's costing me money with lawyers, and I don't, you know, if I could
no
have
doubt.
just picked the phone up to them and said, "Look, what are you doing?"
Yeah,
They're in Florida, they're in the US. If I could have just done that, but no, it doesn't work like that. So, yeah, it is a compliment, but I'd rather they weren't.
yeah, absolutely. No, I get that. I get that.
Yeah.
So I was going to say, like, sort of like for challenging and stuff, and I was thinking how many other people are doing this, and is it the market? Is it a tough market? But I guess.
I mean, the mobility aid market, what I would say the forward-thinking mobility aid
Yeah,
market
yeah,
is quite small. There's a couple of other companies doing different types of walking sticks
yeah,
that have patterns, that have colours, that have, that aren't just covered in flowers. So the more forward-thinking designers, there aren't many, because you still get this attitude, well, what's the point?
yeah,
And, I heard that a lot along the way when I was building up the business. What's the point? Now, that's coming from an able-bodied person who wouldn't see the point. But if you give one of our sticks, I say, if you give on Dragon's Den, you give a light up stick to Stephen Bartlett. He stood up and pretended it was a lightsaber, and he was dancing around the room, singing the Star Wars theme. But you give that stick to someone who's disabled, and they'll probably cry and
yeah.
say, "Oh my God, that's gorgeous. I would be proud to be seen with that." That's the difference.
Yeah. Yeah. I suppose it's definitely it's mindset, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's how you see things. I suppose it's you see things. I mean, like you say, like old Lindsay would have seen things different to how
she
Lindsay
would.
does now, and
Yeah, she
I
would.
totally
And then
get that.
unless you've either had someone in your life, in family or friends who has used mobility aids, or yourself has used one, even just for a short period of time, you kind of wouldn't really have thought about it.
No,
And
no,
that's fair enough.
you're
It's
right.
totally fair enough. But I think
Absolutely.
partly it comes down to what we can introduce to the younger generation coming through. Because if they're, I would say, exposed to people like myself, people with disabilities, either visible. I'm lucky, mine's very visible,
Yeah.
but a lot of chronic illness isn't.
Yeah.
If
No, I know.
if they're exposed to people who are living with that, and they get to talk to them, and even in the supermarket, don't stop your kids going up to someone in a wheelchair, and just let them, because they're curious. And
Yeah.
these are the designers and the engineers of tomorrow. So we need them to be interested in what we've got going on. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I know when my mum when I can't remember which I don't let's just say I right knee, and I think because of all the years on her feet, and it was a lot of wear and tear and what have you. And that's the one a doctor, our specialist, just spoke to, and they said, "Look, Mary, your knees, the cartilage is going. You will need a knee replacement." But she was too young; she was only in her 50s. And they went, "But look, what you need to do is you should get yourself a stick,
Mm,
support your knee. I'm not,
mm,
I'm not old. I'm not."
yeah,
And that's the first thing. But I'm not
yeah,
an old lady. Why I don't want. And I was
yeah,
like, "But Mama says you need. It's not about your.
yeah.
It's not
You,
about being like you got to save like keep that knee as long as you can."
yeah, yeah,
Wouldn't have it. And then she
yeah,
ended up su put more like sort of the support from her left knee more
mm,
so.
yeah,
And she had to get a knee replacement on her left knee before her right knee.
yeah, yeah. You'd be surprised how many younger people are within our community now. Awful lot of sort of, I want to say 18 to sort of 30-year-olds, a huge amount of people that are living with, I don't know whether you've ever heard of a condition called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome.
Oh, I haven't.
That's quite common among younger people. It's
Right.
being I think more because it's being diagnosed earlier, so they're
Yes.
noticing and being able to treat and use mobility aids earlier. People who are living with chronic fatigue, people who are living with arthritis, people who are living with cancer, endometriosis, all these different, which you wouldn't particularly connect with
Yeah.
needing to use a mobility aid, but they provide stability, they provide balance,
Awesome.
they provide just that bit of confidence. It's something that you
Yeah.
can lean on when you go out. So there's a whole host of different people who are using them,
Yeah.
but yeah, a startling amount of younger people now as well.
Yeah.
Mm.
And when they look as good as so can somebody literally come to you and can they give you a design? Or did
Yeah,
it
they can. Yeah,
I know we can do like the little workshops and stuff and
yeah,
that's
we
with the
do. We
page. Yeah.
do. We do custom designs. So we've made sticks that look like mermaids, with lots of mermaid crystals and patterns on. We've made sticks that look. We made one for a guy recently who was a bit of a cosplay goth kind of guy, and we made a raven head as his handle.
Yeah,
That was utterly stunning. That stick. It
I
was
bet.
gorgeous. But we do custom sticks in other ways as well. We've done a few where we've used customers where they've asked us to put ashes in the
Right.
handles,
Because
and
they do
we
jewelry and all sorts, don't they? And
yeah, but
oh, that's incredible, that.
yeah, we did a really beautiful one for a young lady who was getting married and she'd just lost her dad, and she wanted him to be with her. I'm gonna cry. But she wanted him to be with her walking down the aisle, and
That's
we
amazing.
put some of his ashes inside the handle of her walking stick. And you know, that just made a difference to her day. And what a privilege
You could do
to be trusted to do that for her. Yeah, we've done them with pets, ashes in. We've done yeah, also so they can still go on walks with their owners.
that. Yeah.
And you know, you've got dogs, you know what that's like. It's
Yeah, I've got well, these two I was never getting these two. So my old German Shepherd, I think sees I got a tattoo of him
yeah,
on my arm, and I got him when I was 16. We've always had family dogs, for me being five, always had German Shepherds. For me, they're like the perfect breed. I just,
yeah.
although these two are annoying, uh,
Uh,
and I was never. He died when I was 26, was that 26? And I can't like I lost a niece young, my grandparents, um, and I think taking the dog was it's probably about one of the most like, traumatic experiences I've ever gone through. And I
yeah,
was never no more dogs.
yeah.
And then I met Jamie, my now husband. Actually, we got married last
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. Um, and he's just dog mad,
Is
dog
he?
mad. Yeah. And when we
Oh,
first got together, I was like, I'm not getting married. Was no way on the cards. No dogs because I can't go through that again. And that wasn't sort of like it wasn't me sort of this is what we're not doing. But I just says look up front. This is the things that aren't just sort of be on the table.
yeah,
And as time went on, I thought that's just really selfish of me to.
yeah, yeah.
But he was very much yeah that's fine and
Yeah.
like I proposed to him. I brought the dogs in like being as
So
yeah.
you're not a man of your word, Neil, really, are you? I'm beginning to find.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so,
Yeah,
and
but
it's worked out. One of the dogs. I mean, don't get us wrong. They've been one of them. He's got epilepsy, um,
mm,
and he'll be 4 years in April. So he's five this year, but the start when he was 10 months. And that was very to see him fit and not be able to do anything about it.
yeah, yeah.
We had a few like rough months with him.
Mm.
And that one's got like really bad anxiety. We got Solo for Roscoe. Then it was like, yeah. So, and we've just moved into a house. We're in a flat. We've just moved into a house. So I'm in the spare room. Gonna turn this into sort of like the office.
Yeah,
Um, and it's weird. There's like because they've got a garden now. They're much better.
yeah, yeah,
With that, it's really odd and stuff.
yeah.
So
Get their own
but,
space.
yeah.
So
And then
what's the longest time you've been without a dog then?
from us being 26 until I was 40-ish.
All right, so you a good while then.
Yeah. And
Uh,
I think had it not been Jamie and somebody else, I'd maybe not have a dog now.
maybe.
But
But it's
like,
interesting. Um I had a big Newfoundland and I
oh,
lost him before Christmas and I've got a tattoo of him there on
oh,
my
have
arm.
you?
I've got loads of
Beautiful.
tattoos, but yeah,
Yeah, well, I've only got a few on my arm, but yeah,
he
uh,
was stunning. He was a
they're beautiful
beautiful,
dogs.
beautiful boy. Yeah.
How old was he?
11.
Oh wow, because
So
that's that good, isn't it?
yeah, he lived quite a good while for a
Yeah.
new, but he was just the best boy. Yeah.
They're beautiful. There's one that gets down the South Shield seafront.
Yeah.
I want to say he's called Humphrey, and
Oh,
he's on the Facebook pages. Big, he looks like a
oh,
bear.
yeah,
He's
mine was.
beautiful dog. Honestly,
Big black bear. My guy was called Buddy. He was everybody's buddy. So
be
yeah.
good. Was he a soft natured and stuff?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Soft as anything.
Nobody can come near me with these two.
Really?
No, no, they're so protective.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you come into the house, so you could be still outside and I'd be standing talking to you, and the two of them, especially Roscoe, he would want to be like you would want to rip your throat out. But
Yeah.
if you came into my house, the
Yeah.
second you get that be all over you.
Soft as anything. Yeah.
I don't because it's normally in the house, like this is
Well,
my
yeah, this is my territory.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
honestly, it's
yeah.
odd. I can have anyone come round and I don't worry about it.
Yeah, and all dogs are different because I've had lots of different breeds of dogs like over my lifetime. I had a Hungarian Vizsla who was he was amazing. He lived till he was 16 and he was just a really good boy as well. But I've got this Weimaraner thing who I adopted when he was 3. He's 12 now. And he is like a demon. He is like the Antichrist to the Vizsla, even though they look really similar, just a different
Yeah.
color. Oh my
Uh,
goodness, he's just a nightmare. And
um,
he's 12 and he still is. Yeah, but they're all,
some just don't grow up, do they? They're just,
yeah.
yeah. I think I've
And
seen some dogs. My friend, my auntie's dog, as he got older, he like became an old man. Whereas my dogs, they've lived till sort of 10. That's the oldest
mhm,
he lived. But even then, he was still like a puppy, just
yeah,
bouncy about and just some. And I like that because I didn't see him get old.
yeah,
But yeah, so it's
yeah. I couldn't be without, couldn't
what
be
kind of
without.
parrot do you have?
I've got an umbrella cockatoo.
It's an oh right,
And
okay.
he's adopted as well. I adopt everything. So I got divorced last year, had the most
Right.
traumatic year, apart from having my leg cut off. It was awful. It was bitter. It was nasty. It was horrible.
Yeah.
And I'd always been told, no, you can't have a parrot. I've wanted a parrot since I was about 20. And so as soon as got rid of him, and I thought, right, I'll get a parrot then. So I adopted this. He's 47.
Wow.
He's an umbrella cockatoo. He's amazing. He's just my best little buddy. He comes everywhere with me. Comes into work. He
Yeah.
sits on my knee on a night, has a snooze, has a cuddle.
Yeah.
He's funny, and he's got a sense of humor as well. So we get along really well.
Oh,
But
good.
yeah, so
Yeah.
he's the man in my life now.
Oh,
So
well.
that's Blanco, 47,
Wow.
single and ready to mingle.
Oh, yeah. I've always wanted to. My dad had a parrot years ago. When I wasn't living with him at the time, and I've always wanted to get like an African grey, and I think would be.
Yeah,
And then my dad had one. I know a lady who I used to work with got one, and she was like, Neil, like, just don't. I was like, well, she went. They're a lot of work,
yeah.
and she's so Kath will be. I think she might be even be in her 60s now, so
Mm,
she's at home a lot and this time there, so it suits her. You know,
exactly.
yeah, so about my
Yeah,
mum, she's got a nice big back garden. So if I'm having the day out or if I have a long day at work and things like that, the dogs go at my mum's and she just lets them in the garden. Our back
yeah.
garden's like 180 square foot. So I'm like, look, don't worry about watering them.
Perfect. Yeah.
And put some water down for them and then go out and don't worry, you
Yeah.
know.
Perfect. Yeah.
But,
But
yeah,
yeah, they are quite a lot of work.
yeah,
You've got to detoxify your house. There's so many things you can't do when you have a parrot. You can't
yeah,
use you've got to use watch what pans you use, no Tefal or anything like that. You can't use air
yeah,
fresheners,
yeah.
aerosols, candles, burning scents, anything like that. So yeah, my house is different now that Blanco's here. But
Well,
I just adore him.
we got rid of all that stuff. Not, well, I didn't have loads, but we had like the plugins and the different bits. Can
Yeah, yeah,
with all those epilepsy, we didn't know what was causing it, so we
yeah.
got shot of everything. And I now looking into it, I think it's been his booster that he had.
Really?
Yeah, so the girl at the breeder who I got him off, she messaged us and she was like, Neil, I'm so sorry, this shouldn't have happened. If I'd known, I would never have. And I went, listen, that's Deb.
Wow.
You don't need to apologize. Like, I just all that the reason I'm telling you is in case anybody else has had the same issue.
Yeah.
And then the more the time's gone on, it was only a few months ago, she sent us this link and it was this I need to find Solo's papers to see what booster he had.
Mm,
And if it is, because even we've got an up in Cramlington, there's a animal hospital, guy called Jonathan there, fantastic.
yeah.
And I thought we're gonna have to get an MRI scan, and I mean we're looking at thousands of pounds in bills.
Yeah.
And I took him through, and he was sort of like going to poke him in the eyes, and Solo was like moving back, and he lifted him up his back end up and walked him on his front feet, front legs, lifted him on the front, then walked him on his back legs, and all the. He says, look, he says, I'm not going to put you through getting an MRI scan because all it's going to come back is going to tell you is what I'm going to tell you now. He says he's got idiopathic epilepsy. I went, and what's that? You went, well, we can't tell you what causes it. And because he's only, I think he was 8 months or 9 months at the time, he
Mm,
went, he's very, very like young to be having fits.
mm,
And if there's no history in the, and I says, which, because I'd spoke with Deb and there wasn't,
mm,
so he'd said, I don't want to, I'm not going to waste your money. So we'll see what we can do. And so he went on medication, which we've started to bring him down.
mm,
He was on 5 tablets a day, and now he's down to three because obviously German Shepherds don't live that long anyway. And the last thing I want is for him to shorten his life anymore, and I have to. Um, so I got this link sent, and I thought, so I need to. We've moved, and I can't find nothing.
Of course, yeah,
There are
yeah.
boxes everywhere, so I need to find their paperwork. And if it is, I'm not like going to sue the vet or nothing like that, but I am going to go and I'm going to look into it a bit further, and even
Yeah.
just raise awareness because um, people, you shouldn't have to go through what we went through.
No, absolutely
Seeing
not.
that, I mean, I had to stand and video the dog solo once having a fit because
Mm,
Jonathan wanted to see.
mm,
And yeah, I stood there with a camera and it's like,
mm.
my mum was there once and she was in tears. I'm like, he's all right because he obviously doesn't know. But my
Mm.
mum, she found it like traumatic watching him and,
Yeah, yeah.
and it is awful.
And that's the kind of thing people need to know.
Yeah,
Because you think when you're giving your dogs boosters and vaccinations, you're doing the best thing for them. But I've never heard of that.
no,
That's
yeah,
great.
yeah, it's unusual. So these two they had the booster at one, then the booster at two, and they've not had them since
Mm,
because I think it's like us, you need to be open to like infection and your body will, and things like that. And
yeah.
then the vet said it was no longer. Solo was there for blood tests a few months ago because he has to have a blood test for his meds to see how his cholesterol and all the different bits are. And he's doing well on everything. And he'll do even better now. We've reduced them. So,
Mm,
and she went, I've noticed he hasn't had any flea treatment. And I went, well, he hasn't had fleas.
mm.
And she went, yeah, but you prevent it. I went,
But he
well,
hasn't got them.
but he hasn't really got them. I says, and if you read the
Mm,
ingredients, it's actually poison. It's not
mm.
good for them. So unless I need to put it on them,
Yeah.
I'm all right, thank you. And
I don't blame you.
yeah,
One,
so and
yeah,
there's a lot of and I do this with myself as well. Like, I'll go and I'll go and see the doctor for something. And then I'm literally telling the doctor
yeah,
what I should because I
yeah.
had skin cancer cut out last year.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and luckily it was only I can never say it, basal cell carcinoma.
Yes, yeah,
Carcinoma.
yeah, yeah.
Um, but at the time when there was one on my back and then I had to have one on my chest taken off, which I've had for years, the one on my chest. I thought it was like a skin tag or something silly like that. But the
Mm,
one on my back would itch, it would bleed, it would do all the. So they took us in and had a look, and when they came back, they went, "Oh, look, it is cancer." I'm like,
mm,
which my heart sunk.
yeah.
Um, but they couldn't tell us what or how bad or if it was. So for two
Mm.
weeks, it was. I just didn't know.
Wow.
I barely ate. I
Oh,
was sleeping. And I'm brilliant at saying to other people because my mum had cancer a few years ago, and I was like, "Listen, you're going to be fine." And
yeah.
if you come to me, I'm great at telling everybody, like, it's
Yes,
there, and you
yeah.
can. And I find like some people say, "You nearly look." It was really my cousin said it was that day. She's been really low, and I give her a bit of a pep talk, bit of tough love, but a bit of a pep talk. And
Mm,
but then I couldn't do it for myself.
yeah. But you find that, don't you? You
Yeah,
find,
it was really,
yeah,
but and then it came back to saying, look, it's fine. It's basically it's you could have it. Like, then I spoke to the surgeon. He said you could have a 20-year and it'll not.
yeah,
We're going to
yeah,
cut it out anyway. So I had to have surgery to have that out and stuff, But
yeah,
yeah, but then so now it's like I take me vitamin D. I've used the sunbeds years ago, and
yeah,
I wouldn't like I'll not do it again. And because I
yeah,
said, shall I stay out of the sun? Shouldn't no. If it's sunny, you need to be in the sun. But
yeah,
then even with sun creams,
yeah.
I don't.
You don't get full protection, do you?
No, no. So and I use coconut oil as well now as a because it has a natural SPF.
Mm,
So if I can avoid taking using actual sun cream, I won't because
mm.
your skin absorbs everything, doesn't it?
Coconut oil's got a natural SPF.
Yeah, yeah.
Is it
Apparently, I think they
really?
say it's like 15 or something, and
I
it's a good
didn't know. I didn't know
honestly.
that
Yeah.
either.
Yeah, so my sister uses coconut oil for she uses it for hair
Mm. Oh yeah.
condition it. It's like
Mm.
she uses it as like as a moisturizer. She
Mm.
on a spoon and swirls it around. It apparently freshen keeps your breath doesn't freshen it keeps you from having
Mm.
bad breath and it whitens your teeth. Like it's a natural antibiotic. And I'm thinking I bake omelets with it, me.
I didn't know any of this.
Oh, honestly, and honestly, if you get a minute while you're not so busy, just Google coconut oil uses or something like that, and
Wow.
you'll literally be like, "Yeah, I didn't know that." I got them with what I get some to make my own toothpaste because I don't like. So I've got a filter on my water tap because I don't like like the fluoride in the toothpaste. I use
Yes.
free
Yeah. Yeah.
toothpaste, all these little bits, and I was going to make my own, and it's a good for like a toothpaste with honestly crazy. When you start like digging into all these
I'm
things.
going to start looking at
Yeah.
that.
But honestly, yeah. So it's really interesting to be fair. But yeah, sometimes I mean my friends, oh, you're a conspiracy. I'm like, I'm not. Like, I just don't believe everything I'm told after the whole, the last few years when we've been, fed a lot of things, some of it true,
Completely.
some
Yeah.
of it
Yeah.
not. You then think, well, what is?
Yeah.
So
Just find out for you, find out yourself.
yeah, I know, yeah.
Yeah, you've got to do you. I fully
Boss,
agree with that. Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Cool. I just want to ask you a couple of little more things. Back to business.
Go
Uh,
on.
so do you expansion wise, do you think you would ever have another workshop anywhere, or do you think this is you and then you'll ship and
I mean, so
I thought
far,
about
because
it.
we're purely e-commerce, we don't have any outlets, so
Yeah,
we are purely just from our website, and
of
it's
course.
worked for us. The only thing I would say that doesn't work for us are the shipping costs and the
Yeah,
taxes that people have to pay, because now we're out of the EU. Everybody in the
yeah,
EU has to pay import duty. You know, people in the US have to pay import duty to get our stuff in. So, you know, we would look at ways to get around that because the
yeah.
US is it's a big market for us. It's
I imagine.
half of what
Oh,
we
really?
make we
Right.
send there. So it's a bit, and we've just tickled it really. I mean, it's a massive market. So
Yeah.
that's something I would like to look into. I mean, I certainly I would never say never,
Yeah.
for sure, because we've got a good model to work off.
Yeah.
You know,
It seems to be working. So
yeah, so yeah, we'd have a good model to work from. But yeah, I don't know where. I don't know. I'd have to pick somewhere really nice that I could go and oversee, wouldn't I?
yeah, absolutely.
In the
Got to work for you as well, hasn't it?
in the Bahamas or somewhere. I've got a workshop in the Hawaii. Yeah, it works really well for me.
Hawaii's next to America, isn't it? So it's
It is. It's not.
yeah,
Well, I say it's not far. I don't know how far it is. It's just
yeah,
vast, that place, isn't it?
yeah. I
So
know. Yeah, it's scary. Yeah, one of
yeah,
my
I have
friends
a
he lives in Texas, and it's I think this country goes into Texas 3.5 times alone.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh,
I have a Californian guy that works for me. Hello, Kendall. And yeah, he makes the sticks at the moment for me,
wow.
um, in the workshop, and he's just an absolute ray of sunshine every day. I
Yeah.
just
Oh, I bet.
absolutely
Yeah,
adore. The Californians are kind of different
yeah.
to other Americans. That's how he introduced himself. I'm not American, I'm Californian. Um,
Well, that's one way to do it, isn't it?
yeah,
I was
it's
just
like
like what? Sorry, go on. What were you say?
no,
Sorry.
so it's like me saying I'm not English, I'm from Yorkshire.
Yeah, I know. Well, why not? Why not?
Mm.
But yes, I was going to say like there. I was going to ask you about like any challenges you have, and I guess that you've just answered it there. I imagine is that the biggest challenge you have, the shipping
Well,
cost?
yeah, I mean, it's one of the challenges. I mean, we try to get the shipping costs down. I'm constantly fighting
Yeah,
I've been through every single parcel company you could imagine. And if they don't either give me good prices or good service,
yeah,
that's good service to us as well as to our
yeah.
customers.
Absolutely.
I'll just say bye-bye. I owe you nothing. That's my dog moaning there. Uh, she's who you're talking to. So I mean that's one of the challenges. Um, I mean, finance as a female entrepreneur is difficult to find if you're
Right.
looking for it.
Okay.
I've been fortunate to have been supported by the British Enterprise Fund when I needed finance.
Yeah.
But that's quite tricky as a female entrepreneur. Also, double that up as being a female disabled entrepreneur. And, you know, the door doesn't even open for you, never mind a crack. So that's quite difficult. Challenges. I mean, I've got my physical challenges. I've
Yeah.
got my daily challenges to run in the business. The number of ideas that I have are just wild
Yeah.
that I can't hope to achieve probably because there's just too many of them.
Right.
You know,
So what do
so
you do with that? Do you write them down? Do you?
yeah, got to temper what I try and do, you know, because otherwise it would just be release after release after
Right.
release
Yeah,
and
of course. And
product after product, accessory after accessory, and we just can't do it.
yeah,
So
yeah.
we've just got to be sensible on how we expand our range. So we are very sensible about how we do it. You know, we plan a year out. We know what's coming
Yeah.
in each month for social media, for launches. We can plan it so
Yeah.
there's plenty of things going on to keep people interested,
Right.
because that's what you've got to do is keep people
Oh
interested.
God, well, I
Yeah.
mean, yeah,
Mm.
yeah, and I think your sticks definitely do because, like, I would never have. I guess without being in touch with you, I probably wouldn't have came across it because,
So,
do you know what I mean? Like, I would never have because my
yeah,
mum A doesn't want to use one, and B, hopefully not for a long time. It's just not to me. I would have found without
yeah,
actually doing this, looking at
yeah.
this. So, um, but it is like it just. So, do you have a core line? Like, do you have a core range, or does it change constant, or
Yeah, there is quite a core best sellers, I
Yeah.
would
So I
say.
would
There's
say,
probably about a dozen
oh, okay.
that are really solid, like best sellers.
Yeah, yeah.
The others, I've kind of had colours in that I've had forever since I began, and I've had colours that have I've had and then just phased them out because
Got you.
they either go too slow or So we're always introducing new designs and styles.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's definitely a core best sellers range, which I would say is about at least a dozen. Yeah.
Got you. Oh, well.
But we have, I mean, how many colors do we have on the website? We have over
Well, yeah.
30, over 30 at the moment,
Yeah.
probably reaching into 40. But yeah, there's always like the ones that'll never go out of fashion. And then there's
Yeah.
the extra ones that we bring in on top. We've just introduced an octagonal stick. So it's not round, it's octagonal
Oh,
shaped.
okay. Right.
That can play with some of the patterns that we put in them. It can make it all go a bit squiffy and make it
Y-
look quite interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
Makes the
The
colors look
dimension of it, isn't it? Yeah,
with the
that,
dimension. So we know we've brought those in. They're really popular,
yeah.
but that was just last year. So yeah, we're always trying to sort of push the boundaries on what people expect to see from a walk-in.
Yeah.
And we create stuff that you would just never expect to see.
No,
Interestingly, you spoke about Goth Weekend at Whitby. We're going there in April for the
right.
first time, and we're taking some of our stuff to see because we know there is a large goth community that are also disabled. So
Yeah, yeah.
there's a cosplay community as well
That
that
I was just, yeah, I was going to
yeah,
say that. Yeah.
they're interested in using them. So we want to expand into that and see if we can pull in some of the people that didn't know we existed.
See if
So
there's any Star Wars fans for the lightsaber.
plenty of them. We've done loads of them because a lot of our sticks do light up,
Yeah,
and they do look amazing, and they do look like lightsabers. So
yeah. Oh,
yeah,
it's
they are
incredible.
pretty cool. Yeah,
Yeah. But and that's another market, isn't it? Like you can tap into as well.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know, it's
It
that's
is,
yeah,
and
great.
people have a different color to suit different outfits. We've got some customers that have 30 different colors.
Wow.
I mean, they collect them. They're proper
Yeah.
collectors, and
And
they are.
to be fair, why not?
Yeah, but they are becoming kind of collector's items. Every year we release a limited edition.
Right?
Um, so I started off the first year really small scale, then upped it and then upped it and then upped it. So now we've reached a point where we'll release sort of 450 of one color, but it's a super special. It's got a story that goes with it. It's got like the last one we released was we called it Spellbound, and we made a video. You should go on Instagram and look at the
Yeah,
movie
yeah. No, I'm definitely going to
Spellbound.
do it. Yeah.
It's stunning, and it came. I wrote a little book to go with it that was a story about a dragon, and this stick looked like it had dragon fire running through it, and then you got a little. It was a miniature book, so it was literally just
Yeah,
doodle, and you
yeah.
got a magnifying glass to read it with as well. So, we do stuff like that. So it's a proper limited edition, and it
Quite
comes,
niche that as well, isn't it?
it's got a collar, it's numbered, and people collect them. And some of the old limited editions, you can't buy them for hundreds of pounds now. No one will sell them. So that's an interesting sort of very much a collector's mindset to look at it.
So I
But
bet you
we've
never thought that would happen, did you?
never thought that would
Yeah,
happen.
isn't it?
Never.
It's amazing. Yeah, see, it's funny how it's like I have a thing for Dickie Bows.
Oh, I
Yeah,
love that.
yeah, and I was actually going to put and I thought no, I'm just gonna and I kind of wish I had now, but
Oh,
and I
I
like them.
love that.
And I've got all different colors now. And we had a Christmas night out for work, and I had like it was like a black and white one, and
Oh,
people were like, going, I was like a Beetlejuice, and I was like, if you wanted to be, you know.
fantastic. I love it.
But I love them. It looks. I think that we wore for the wedding. I had Dickie Bows for my wedding.
Oh,
And people
love
were
it.
like, "Are you not gonna have like it?" And I thought, no, we got married in pink suits,
Oh,
which at the time I
and
couldn't find a pink I wanted.
yeah.
And Jamie was like, "Pink," but then we found them, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I quite like that."
And he got what you meant. Yeah.
Yeah, and he
I
thought,
love it.
and actually, have you ever seen that thing online where it's like, is the dress blue or is it green?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so I was looking for tops for my mum. I was in M&S and all and I went to take a photo of this top she could wear. And as put the camera in front of it, I was like, it's a different color through the lens.
Yeah.
Odd, so odd. And when I'd seen the suits online, it wasn't the pink I wanted. So we went to the shop and I went in, it was in the window and I went, oh, I love that. And it was
Yeah,
the same suit,
it,
but
it was the one. Yeah, yeah. That's the problem with photographing things. We have that
yeah.
all the time with our sticks
Oh, of
because
course.
they look different colors inside to outside. So a lot of them are fluorescent. So when they go outside, they just go boom like that, and
Right.
the fluorescence lights up. But inside, they can look quite kind of quiet and demure, you know.
Yeah.
So we have problems we've been photographing them tonight. There's two particular ones, and we've been in and out and lights and no lights and just trying to get the right
Yeah.
colors to show people. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's a problem. I made dicky bows for our sticks
Oh, really?
out of Harris tweed.
Oh,
I had them made. They were really lovely on clips. Oh, on clips, and you could clip it onto your walking stick.
got you.
So your stick was wearing a dicky
Yeah.
bow, and we did a lot of those for same-sex weddings, and I love them, just love them.
Yeah. Well, I nearly had a cane. I was going to look for a cane, on the day, and I thought, too much.
It's too late.
Yeah.
It's just too late. You'll have to renew your vows, Neil,
Yeah, with a cane. Yeah.
with a
We did have
cane.
the dogs there, though.
Yeah, oh, did you?
The dogs came down someone brought them down to the town hall afterwards, and they had pink leads and just
Oh,
they got out of the car and you literally heard everyone there at the same time go, oh, it was like, and I was
oh,
like, oh.
yeah.
Yeah. And they were good as gold, actually. They were really well behaved, which was like unlike them.
So
Um,
I bet you've got some amazing wedding photos, have you?
oh yeah,
You with the dogs and
yeah,
oh
some of them are just we've got one, it's Jamie's mum got it done for, it's like it's almost as big as this one, but it's
yeah.
sort of portrait. And it's me and Jamie and holding the dogs. And I had
Oh.
like rose tinted glasses, heart shaped, just for
Email me it,
yeah.
please.
Yeah, no, I
I've
will.
got to
Yeah, I
see
will.
that.
I will, 100% I will do,
I
yeah.
love it. I absolutely love
Well,
it.
look, I've kept you a little while now. I'm just going to ask you one last thing.
Go
So,
on.
going into 2025, what's the goal?
2025 is going to see more growth. We're growing month on month. It's almost like a train. We just can't stop it. So it's more growth, but controlled growth.
Yeah.
By the end of 2025, I want to be down to working 3 days a week
Yeah.
because my health is, not as good as it could be. So I want to be down to working 3 days a week and
The balance, isn't it?
spending more time with my dogs and my bird. But yeah, definitely more growth is on the cards, more colours, and just try and serve the countries that are our biggest customers to try and serve them as best we can.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
we'll be looking at ways that we can do that. But yeah, just encouraging more people to be visible with their mobility aids, to be
Yeah.
proud of it and to say, look at me, not to hide.
Yeah,
We want to
absolutely.
empower people. We just want to reach as many people. We're not saying that our walking sticks are the best. We're saying that there's choice.
Yeah.
And there never used to be a lot of choice.
Yeah.
So what we're saying to people is, that there is choice out there, and we might be your choice, but that there is other stuff
These
out
are the
there.
options.
Yeah,
Absolutely. No, yeah, I get that.
there never used to be. So that's what we want. Keep
Sounds good.
empowering people
Sounds
to
perfect.
thrive. I just want people to thrive. That's all I want.
And can I ask you while I've got you before I let you go?
How old am I?
Do
No, you can't.
do do you use any? Do you use AI for anything?
Yeah, we use AI a lot.
Do you? Because
Yeah,
that's what I was curious about that and how you sort of incorporate it.
yeah.
Because this is what obviously I've been looking. I'm telling two friends. One's a driving instructor, and the other one he's in Birmingham. He big fancy gates for like mansion drives,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
garage shutter, garage doors, front doors, all these different things.
Mm,
And this is how this is sort of this whole thing sort of started. So this
mm.
is like, I don't know, I guess this is like a market research, if you like. And they, because my friend who's a driving instructor, he's independent, and when he has like a website where people can book lessons and stuff, but he also, when people ring him, he can't always get back to everybody.
Uh-huh.
We've been learned a way he can sort of like have like a bot, if you like, who can
Yeah.
answer everything. Because sometimes people have just got questions, don't they? As opposed to just want to book up, they need to know.
They need to know something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we've
Yeah.
been looking at that, and my other friend, I think, because him and his partner bought the business there, the door business,
Yeah.
and they do good, but he wants to like do better, I guess.
Hmm.
As well, have you not looked at? and then he's again, it's people, it's at the office, it's having people take calls, get back to
Yeah,
people, things like
yeah,
that. But I
yeah.
says, so I'm working with them at the minute. We're trying to come up with things to see if we can what'll work for their particular, because everything's what would work for them, for example, wouldn't work for you, maybe.
No,
You know,
no,
like it's a
no.
different sort. But yeah, it was just curious how you implement the AI in your business as well.
I mean, we use it for, I mean, even down to spell checking the website. Do you know it can do that?
Yeah,
And you can do it by, but you spell check the homepage and it'll come back and tell you. It's incredible.
yeah,
So it helps write some of our descriptions that we use for walking sticks. It helps
exactly.
write some of those. It helps come up with names for walking sticks, believe it or not. You can AI it's only as good as what you prompt it to do.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
very much, and it's learning.
Yeah.
So it's always learning about us. But we use it. We certainly use it on the website. But you can use it for Facebook ads and that kind of thing. You know, it can write ads for you. We don't. We have people that do that for us, but
Right.
you can get it to write
Yeah,
ads
yeah, I've seen there's some
and
fantastic ones.
and it'll optimize them as long as you tell it, you know, what kind of countries you're talking to, you know, the tone of voice you want the ad to be in. Do you want it to be
Absolutely.
humorous? Do you want it to be serious? Do you want it to be empathetic? Do you want, you know, all these, it's, you prompt it and you
Yeah.
can tell it. We're actually setting up a new website at the moment.
Right?
And hopefully that'll be launching in the next few weeks. And we're using AI to help check that all our images are there because we've come up with this what we're calling like a configurator. So people will be able to build their stick in front of their eyes. So you can pick a color and then you can pick the handle shape and then you can pick the bottom and you can put a rubber grip on it and you'll see what it looks like. And these are actual images that, so there's many thousands of
Yeah.
images. So we're using AI at the moment to check that all the images are there and
What are
it's
you doing? You getting a well, not that I've ever bought a brand new car, but it's the same thing, I guess, isn't it? You
yeah,
can
you
stay
can
with
do it
whoever.
with, we do it with trainers. I think
Yeah,
Nike does it.
yeah.
You can
Oh,
do
that's
it.
right. Yeah, they do.
Yeah, you can build trainers and stuff.
Oh,
So
that's
we've
incredible.
we've kind of gone down that avenue where you can build your own and change it, and people can play. You know, it's another reason to come over and have a little play on the website.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, AI, it's the future,
Yeah. Oh,
and if you're not using it, you'll be get left behind,
yeah. Yeah.
unfortunately. You know, I mean, there's some stuff I don't like to use it for. I don't want to become, you know, I'm a creative writer as
Yes.
well, so
Yes.
I don't want to lose that kind of, it's not a talent, but I don't want to use that kind of skill. I still want to be
Yeah.
able to do that, so I wouldn't hand everything over to
No, no,
AI.
no. But
Um,
you're right what you say though, because I remember when I was talking to Jamie and I was like, because some certain things I'm still sort of so I'll be 46 this year, and I'm kind of between old school and like getting down with the kids. Uh,
yeah, yeah,
and then I was on about AI and I was like, oh, it's all a bit scary. And he was like, Neil, it's everywhere. I went
yeah,
because like Jamie's 29, so he's a bit younger
yeah,
and he's good with all this stuff. And I was like, what? He was like, well, it's on your laptop, it's in your phone, and
everywhere.
the car.
Yeah,
So
everywhere.
it's when you and I thought, and then that's when I started thinking, even as an opportunity just to look. And this is when my two friends were got talking about it. So this is, we're sitting down and trying to do stuff like see if it works for me out. That works for them.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it is. You're right. It is like
Yeah.
every day.
And
Yeah,
it's
then
learning all the time. We sometimes we'll use it and it'll say, here's two options. Which do you prefer? Because I'm learning. And it truly says, you know, and it's learning all the time. And it's a really powerful. I went to a conference about AI a few weeks ago, and in the US, it passed the bar, so it's a lawyer. It's as qualified as a lawyer. It passed its medical exams, so it's as qualified as a doctor. It's incredible the power that this
yeah,
thing has. And I think until you start delving into it,
yeah,
it you're frightened of it because I
yeah.
mean you're 46, I'm 57, and it's like I'm very much old school, and I don't want to see AI come in and take over.
Yeah, I
But
know.
it's too late. You've either got to embrace it or
Yeah. It's not going to go away.
It's not.
Yeah, it's making sure I suppose you take advantage of it, don't you? That's
Yeah,
about it. Use
exactly.
it for
Make it, yeah, make it work for you,
absolutely, yeah.
and just find out as much as you can about it in whatever gobbledygook language the AI there's so much to learn about it. It was mind blowing, this
Yeah.
conference. Yeah, it was
I
good.
imagine. I can imagine. Oh. Right. Well, I want to thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it. It's been a good chat. I've really enjoyed it. It's actually made us feel a bit better. I was,
Really?
yeah, I feel a bit sort of, I'm feeling,
Oh,
yeah,
that's
um,
good.
yeah, because it's like I say, my mum's not been too good this last week and stuff, but this is really, it's like cheered us up as well. So I've really enjoyed it. So
Oh,
I do appreciate it.
I'm so happy that I could do that for you. And
Yeah, no,
it's been a pleasure chatting to someone local from where I come from.
yeah, I know it's just down the road, really, aren't we? But yeah, honestly, I really appreciate it. So what I'll do is as well, I can send you a copy of
Hmm.
but I say I'm going to put it on LinkedIn, and I'm going to start. I've got a YouTube channel ready to go.
Cool.
But it's funny this because I was going to start a podcast anyway.
Mm,
I might even do a separate one because in the back garden we've got a summer house and it's a bar.
perfect.
Well, that's nice for the summer.
Yeah.
And so we've been looking for that. And I was talking with the girls at work, and I says, we've called it the Shepherd's Rest.
Oh,
So,
nice.
so I was going to say, I was going to do the podcast from the Shepherd's Rest. And then this is, so I thought, I'm going to do this first. And then, I'll see how they go. But that was the plan. So,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
lovely. That would be perfect for
yeah,
podcasting from.
yeah. I think it would be, yeah. I mean, I'll hide the alcohol because I don't know
I
if
mean,
I'm
obviously, it would have to stay a bar. Come on, Neil. I mean, it would still have
absolutely.
to be a bar. You could do it, but do you live in South Shields? So you
Yeah.
live where Chris and Rosie live. Chris
Just up the
Ramsey.
road. Yeah, yeah.
They do the sometimes do the Plonkcast
Yeah.
because
Oh,
I've
okay.
I've listened to their podcast right from day one from years ago, and yeah, sometimes they'll have a glass of wine and do a Plonkcast. So there you go. You could do that.
Yeah. Be funny that, wouldn't it? Getting a little bit more tipsy as it goes on.
Oh, she does. She's hilarious.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think I did something at the customs house once. One of my friends went. I didn't know anything about it, to be fair. And they were just on stage. We literally just sat talking to each other.
yeah. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It,
And they were
but
saying,
they're
funny.
just so funny.
Yeah. But like, yeah, obviously the audience interaction and stuff. And they said
Yeah,
it was just so good.
yeah, yeah.
Right.
Good.
Well,
Well, good luck with it.
thank you. Thank you. And
Good
good
luck.
luck with everything you're doing.
Thank you.
Sure, it's just going to grow and grow. Like I say, very unique. And I think with you behind it, how can it fail?
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. No. Well, honestly, thank you very much. And I'll let you get yourself away.
Send
Uh,
me that picture.
I will. I will. I will email you over. I might
All
email
right.
more than one actually, because there's a few. All right.
Do it. All
Brilliant.
right. Thanks, Neil.
No problem. Thank you.
Take care,
Take care.
darling.
Bye bye now.
Bye. Bye
Bye.
bye.